Imagine waking up one morning to find your local grocery store looking like this: empty shelves, no fresh produce, and skyrocketing prices on whatever little food remains. How would you cope? What steps would you take to ensure your family's survival? Welcome to Prepper's Paradigm, your trusted source for practical, no-nonsense advice on prepping and disaster preparedness. The world is facing unprecedented challenges: war, climate change, economic instability, pandemics, and environmental degradation are all contributing to a perfect storm that threatens our global food supply. In this video, we'll delve into the stark realities and risks of widespread food shortages. We'll explore the short-term, medium-term, and long-term consequences of a significant decrease in global food production, and examine how food shortages can lead to violence, social unrest, and even warfare. Sadly, we must also confront the grim reality that many lives will be lost to starvation and conflict. But it's not all doom and gloom. By understanding the risks and preparing effectively, you can protect yourself and your family from the worst impacts. We'll provide you with practical tips and strategies to navigate these challenging times and ensure your survival. To understand how to prepare for food shortages, we first need to explore the underlying causes. These shortages don't happen overnight, but are the result of various interconnected factors. First, let's talk about war and conflict. These can disrupt farming activities, damage infrastructure critical for food production and distribution, and displace large populations, making it harder to access food. Next, we have climate change. Extreme weather events such as droughts, floods, and hurricanes can devastate crops and disrupt the agricultural cycle. Long-term changes in growing seasons in agricultural zones make it increasingly difficult to predict and manage food production. Economic instability also plays a significant role. Economic downturns can lead to reduced food production and distribution capabilities. Inflation and decreased purchasing power will mean that even when food is available, it might not be affordable for many people. Pandemics add another layer of complexity. Disease outbreaks can decimate the agricultural labor force, disrupt supply chains, and result in restrictions and lockdowns that further hinder food production and distribution. Environmental degradation is a slow but relentless contributor. Soil erosion, deforestation, and the loss of arable land reduce agricultural output. Pollution and contamination affect food safety and availability, compounding the problem. Population growth and urbanization exacerbate these issues. As the global population increases, so does the demand for food. Urbanization reduces the amount of available farmland, making it harder to meet this growing demand. Understanding these causes helps us see the big picture. Now that we know what's driving food shortages, we can focus on the steps to prepare and protect ourselves. Now that we understand the causes, let's dive into the immediate impact of food shortages. In the first 6 months, we can expect to see significant changes that will affect everyone. First up, immediate price hikes. As soon as food supplies dwindle, prices for staple foods and groceries will skyrocket. This isn't just a minor increase. We're talking about doubling or even tripling of prices in a matter of days. This sudden inflation will put a massive strain on household budgets. Next, panic buying and hoarding. As people realize what's happening, panic sets in. Everyone rushes to buy as much as they can, emptying store shelves almost overnight. This behavior not only worsens the shortage, but also leads to uneven distribution, leaving many without access to essential goods. In response, governments will likely step in with interventions. Expect measures like price controls, rationing systems, and import restrictions. While these actions aim to stabilize the situation, they can also lead to further market disruptions and black market activity. Social unrest is another serious consequence. As frustration and desperation grow, we'll see an increase in protest, some of which may turn violent. Crime rates, especially theft and looting, are also likely to rise as people become desperate to secure food for their families. Civil unrest and riots can quickly escalate in this environment. When people can't feed their families, tensions boil over, leading to clashes with authorities and widespread chaos in affected areas. Increased crime rates aren't just limited to large-scale looting. Petty theft and home invasions can become more common as individuals become increasingly desperate. No one is immune to the ripple effects of such a crisis. These short-term impacts are severe, but they are just the beginning. Understanding them helps us prepare better and respond quickly. As food shortages persist, the impacts become more profound and far-reaching. Let's explore what happens in the medium term, from 6 months to 2 years after the crisis begins. One of the most heartbreaking consequences is widespread malnutrition and increased mortality. Prolonged food shortages hit vulnerable populations the hardest: children, the elderly, and the economically disadvantaged. Malnutrition weakens immune systems, making people more susceptible to diseases and ultimately leading to higher death rates. In response to these challenges, agricultural practices start to shift. Farmers may transition to more resilient crops that require fewer resources. Communities might prioritize local food production through initiatives like community gardens and urban farming. While these changes are positive, they take time to implement and might not meet immediate needs. Economic decline is another inevitable outcome. The agricultural sector, a cornerstone of many economies, suffers greatly, leading to broader economic downturns. Businesses close, unemployment rises, and many families struggle to make ends meet as the economic ripple effects spread. As conditions worsen, migration and displacement become common. People move from severely affected areas to places where food is more available. This mass movement can lead to overcrowded cities and strained resources in host areas, sometimes sparking conflicts between local and migrant populations. Localized conflicts often erupt over access to food and resources. Disputes over food distribution and access to arable land become more frequent and intense, fracturing community cohesion and leading to violence. In many areas, governments might respond to escalating violence by imposing militarization and martial law. Military forces are deployed to maintain order, enforce curfews, and control distribution centers. While intended to restore stability, these measures can increase tensions between the state and its citizens. Ethnic and social tensions often intensify during such crises. Scarcity breeds fear and suspicion, leading to targeted violence and discrimination against minority groups perceived as competitors for limited resources. These medium-term consequences highlight the complex and interconnected nature of food shortages. By understanding these impacts, we can better prepare and support our communities through the toughest times. As we move beyond the 2-year mark, the long-term consequences of food shortages start to reshape societies in profound ways. Let's explore what these changes might look like and how they will affect our world. One significant change is in diet and lifestyle. Societies may need to adapt to new dietary norms, relying more on locally available and less resource-intensive foods. Traditional food practices might evolve significantly as people adjust to what's available and sustainable in their regions. Technological innovations in agriculture will become crucial. Expect accelerated investment in and adoption of methods like vertical farming, hydroponics, and lab-grown meat. These technologies aim to increase food production efficiency and reduce dependence on traditional farming methods. The sociopolitical landscape will also undergo significant transformations. Governments may implement new policies focused on food security, fostering global cooperation to address food distribution challenges. Alliances and partnerships will become essential to ensure stable food supplies and manage international relations. Long-term agricultural shifts will impact ecosystems and biodiversity. While the move towards sustainable farming and reforestation can help restore ecological balance, these changes can also lead to new environmental challenges that need careful management. Regional instability remains a concern. Prolonged food shortages can lead to regional conflicts and civil wars as nations and groups fight over scarce resources. Interstate wars might occur when countries with dwindling supplies attempt to secure food resources from their neighbors through aggressive means. In extreme cases, we could see the collapse of state institutions, leading to failed states. In such environments, law and order break down completely, allowing warlords, militias, and insurgent groups to take control and perpetuate cycles of violence. Population reduction and equilibrium might eventually occur. A significant decrease in population due to starvation, malnutrition, and conflict could lead to a balance between the population levels and the available food supply. This grim reality underscores the critical need for effective preparation and response strategies. Understanding these long-term consequences helps us grasp the full scope of food shortages and their potential to reshape our world. With this knowledge, we can take informed actions to prepare ourselves and our communities. Now let's focus on practical steps you can take to prepare and mitigate the impacts of widespread food shortages. Preparation is key to ensuring you and your loved ones can navigate these challenging times. First, diversify your food sources. Stock up on a variety of non-perishable foods, including canned goods, dried beans, rice, and pasta. Consider adding freeze-dried meals and vacuum-sealed items to your pantry. Aim for a well-rounded stockpile that can sustain you for several months. Investing in resilient agricultural practices is also crucial. Start a home garden or join a community garden to grow your own fruits and vegetables. Focus on crops that are easy to grow and require minimal resources, such as potatoes, tomatoes, and leafy greens. Learn about permaculture and other sustainable farming techniques that enhance soil health and yield. Fostering community cooperation can make a significant difference. Form or join local groups focused on food security and mutual aid. Sharing resources, skills, and knowledge strengthens community resilience and ensures that everyone has access to food, rather than many people hoping to share one prepper's supplies when there's no food. Explore technological innovations in food production. Vertical farming, hydroponics, and aquaponics are efficient ways to produce food in limited spaces. Investing in or supporting local initiatives that use these technologies can help increase food availability and reduce dependency on traditional farming methods. Develop a comprehensive emergency plan. Outline steps for food storage, water purification, and energy needs. Make sure all family members know the plan and their roles in an emergency. Regularly review and update your plan based on changing circumstances and new information. Learn and practice food preservation techniques. Canning, drying, and fermenting can extend the shelf life of your harvest and store-bought foods. These skills not only preserve your food supply, but also reduce waste and increase self-sufficiency. By taking these proactive steps, you can significantly enhance your ability to withstand and adapt to food shortages. Preparation is not just about survival, it's about building a resilient and sustainable lifestyle that can thrive even in challenging times. We've covered a lot of ground in this video, from the causes of food shortages to their short-term, medium-term, and long-term consequences. And finally, the practical steps you can take to prepare and mitigate these impacts. Let's quickly recap the key points. Food shortages can arise from a variety of causes, including war and conflict, climate change, economic instability, pandemics, environmental degradation, and population growth. Each of these factors contributes to the complexity and severity of food scarcity. In the short term, expect immediate price hikes, panic buying, government interventions, and social unrest. These initial impacts can strain household budgets and disrupt daily life. Medium-term consequences include widespread malnutrition, shifts in agricultural practices, economic decline, migration, and localized conflicts. These changes can have profound effects on health, economic stability, and community dynamics. In the long term, we'll see changes in diet and lifestyle, technological innovations in agriculture, significant sociopolitical shifts, and impacts on ecosystems and biodiversity. Regional instability and population reductions may also occur as societies adapt to new realities. Preparation is crucial. Diversify your food sources, invest in resilient agricultural practices, foster community cooperation, and explore technological innovations. Develop comprehensive emergency plans and learn food preservation techniques to ensure long-term self-sufficiency. By understanding the full scope of food shortages and taking proactive steps, you can protect yourself and your community. Preparation is more than survival, it's about building resilience and thriving even in the face of adversity. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to Prepper's Paradigm. Stay prepared, stay informed, and stay safe.